Hello and welcome to the multiple choice questions of the short story, The Pedestrian, which is written by Ray Bradbury. So, what I have done is I have tried to make as many questions as possible from this short story. So, before you attempt these multiple choice questions, I want you to go through the story and attempt this like an examination. I have added the answer key towards the end. So write the answers in your notebook and check how many you are able to get correct. Once you have checked your questions, then I will discuss each question in detail. Also, I will not be dictating the questions out loud, so you can pause the video and attempt the test if the screen moves to the next screen. All the very best. So these are question numbers 1, 2, and 3. You can start attempting them. Okay, I hope you have completed the first 3 questions. If not, please pause the video because I'm moving to the next 3 questions. Now you can attempt question 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm moving to question number 7, 8, and 9. Okay, let's move to question number 10, 11, and 12. Okay, let's move to the next. Okay, question number 16, 17, and 18. Okay, next. Okay, question numbers 22. Okay, next. Some questions can seem very tricky, so be careful in answering them. Next. Okay, so this is the end of the 30 questions. Now you can check your answers. So please pause the video and please check your answers. Okay, so if you've done well, very good. If not, this is just a learning phase. So you can still improve a lot. Now let's discuss the questions. Okay, which year is the story depicted in? The answer is 2053. So keep your textbooks also open so we can discuss these questions. So he was alone in this world of AD 2053 or as good as alone. So the year is mentioned there in the first paragraph. What did Mr. Leonard Mead most dearly love to do? The answer is also there in the first paragraph. To put your feet upon that buckling concrete walk, to step over grassy seams and make your way, hands in your pocket through the silence. That is what Mr. Leonard Mead most dearly loved to do. That is walk on the streets at night. So here it is written morning at 8. So it is not morning at 8. It was at night 8 o'clock. This was just added to confuse you. Okay, let's go to the next one. Deciding which way to go really made no difference. Why? That answers again in the first paragraph. Deciding which way to go, but it really made no difference. He was alone in this world of AD 2053 or as good as alone. So that is the first option. So the next question, what time would Mr. Leonard Mead usually return from his walk? Sometimes he would walk for hours and miles and return only at midnight to his house. Second paragraph, first line. So it is midnight. The fifth question. How were the houses the ones Leonard Mead crossed while going on his walk? So if you want to know the meaning of dilapidated, that means in a very ruined condition. So they're not talking about the house being in a ruined condition. Here it said on his way he would see the cottages and homes with their dark windows. Only the faintest glimmer of firefly light appearing in flickers behind the windows. How did the residents of that place spend the time in the evening? Yes, it is mentioned in the entire story that they used to watch television. What would happen if Leonard Mead if he wore hard heels? So that answer is there in the third paragraph. For long ago, he had wisely changed to sneakers when strolling at night because the dogs in intermittent squads would parallel his journey with barkings if he wore hard heels. So, option D. Sudden grey phantoms seem to manifest upon inner rooms. So, what is grey phantoms? These grey phantoms are the people in their houses if the curtains were not put. That answers in the second paragraph. Sudden grey phantoms seem to manifest upon inner room walls where a curtain was still undrawn against the night. He would see the cottages and homes with their dark windows, and it was not unequal to walking through a, yes, that we have already, I read this answer, it is graveyard. That is in the second paragraph. So the 10th question was a little tricky, wasn't it? Yes, only those who have read really well would have got that answer. It is in the left hand side, second last line. The street was silent and long and empty, with only his shadow moving like the shadow of a hawk in mid-country. Now, the 11th one. What did Mr. Leonard Mead do as he walked? Okay. See, he didn't walk silently because he kept talking to every house, right? He said, what's on channel 4? What's on channel 7? Channel 9? What are the cowboys rushing? And do I see United States cavalry? So he is talking. He asked the houses what was on television. But he also admired nature and the season. That is in the fourth paragraph. He listened to the faint push of the soft shoes through the autumn leaves with satisfaction. He examined the skeletal pattern of the leaves and he smelt the rusty smell. So he admired nature and also the sea. If he closed his eyes and stood very still, what could he imagine? Yes. So that is in the left hand side, last line. If he closed his eyes and stood very still, frozen, he could imagine himself upon the center of a plain, a wintry, wildless Arizona desert with no houses in 1,000 miles. What does the overgrown sidewalks indicate? So everywhere it says full of grass and he could not feel the concrete or the cement because yes, they were not maintained well because not many people walked on it. And the other is many people did not walk on the street. So answer is both A and B. What does the silence indicate? So here the silence in this story, it is indicating, it does not indicate there is peace and serenity. They want to indicate that it's an isolated society and people are all on their own indoors and not communicating with each other. That is why this is the answer. If the dogs barked at him, what would happen? So that answers in the third paragraph. His journey with barkings, if he wore hard heels and light might click on and faces appear and an entire street be startled by the passage of a lone figure himself. So the entire street would be startled with a lone figure. So in the 10 years of walking by night or day for thousands of miles, he has never met another walking person. So it is mentioned walking person in the right hand side, second paragraph. That is why it is walking and not just met another person. Why did he stand entranced like a night moth, stunned by the illumination and then drawn towards it? So here in the right hand side, fourth paragraph, it is written that when the lone car turned a corner quite suddenly and flashed a fierce white cone of light upon him, he stood entranced, not unlike. So two negatives have come, so it becomes a positive. Like a night moth, stunned by the illumination and then drawn towards it. So in the next paragraph, he says, police, it is an incredibly rare thing because there was only one police car left even since a year ago, 2052. The election year, the force had been cut down from 3 cars to 1. Crime was ebbing. Ebbing means reducing. There was no need now for the police, save for the one lone. So all of the above. So it is mentioned that the police car communicated in a metallic voice. A metallic voice called to him. So answer is a metallic voice. What did the metallic voice ask him to do? So what did he say? It said, stand still, stay where you are, don't move. When the light was thrust on his face, he felt like a passage it is given. The light held him fixed like a museum specimen, needle thrust through chest. So why was writing not a profession? So he says he hadn't written in years. Magazines and books didn't sell anymore. So that is why it was not a profession anymore. What did the police feel unusual about Mr. Leonard Weed? So when he asked questions, he said that he was not married. So he said, nobody wants me. And also he was just walking on the streets without any reason. So all these reasons made the police feel unusual. Where was the metallic car taking him? So it took him to the Psychiatric Center for Research on Regressive Tendencies. That comes towards the end of the story. What was unique about that one particular house on the street? So when they go, they say one particular house had all its electrical lights brightly lit Every window allowed yellow illumination. So there's no loud music here. They're just saying the color of the lights were loud. That means bright. So I've added question A just as a confusion. Which month does the incident take place? So this was a very tricky question. So I know it is November, but is it early November, late November? What is it? This answers there actually in the third paragraph, in the last line. In the early November evening is what it is. So what does the story want to depict? So they don't want to say that there will be no crime in the city, or that people will be put in psychiatric centers, or people will not go for walk post 8 p.m. But that people will be addicted to the television screens and to technology, that there will be less communication. So that is the next question. How has technology impacted the lives of the people? It has made them isolated and caused lack of interaction. And what is the theme of the story? So it tells us how technology causes dehumanization in people. Conformity. So what does conformity means? You are in agreement with the beliefs, or you are obedient and you're following the authority. So here people did not walk past 8 p.m. and he was doing something different. He was looking at his individuality. So he should have followed the rules. And lack of freedom, and there is oppression in the, because he could not walk freely. So it is all of the above. What is the main irony? Irony is exactly something opposite happening. It's like you saying, I will never trip and fall on the ground, and the next minute you just trip and you fall down. So that is called irony. So here the irony is a harmless pedestrian is considered a threat in the society. So this is the end of multiple choice questions. I hope you enjoyed solving it. I'll meet you next time with another short story multiple choice questions. Until then, study well and read the short story in depth. Thank you so much, and bye bye.